Good afternoon. Currently, it's 5:16 Eastern Daylight Time. This is Caleb here with Indiana Weather Network, Indiana Weather Online. We are live here for severe weather coverage. Currently, we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings here across the state. We have one, two, three, four, currently five of them across the state of Indiana. Some really large hail cores starting to develop here. This one here has my eye. This is up to a buck 25, half dollar size. This is currently just to the northwest of Indianapolis. Go ahead and start listing off some warnings here. This is for central Boone County in central Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds, half dollar size hail. Right where you see all the black here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. This is going to come pretty close to I-65, north of 74, moving east towards Zionsville and Whitestown. Really healthy hail core here on this one. The main hazards currently are going to be lightning, torrential rain, and hail, large hail. We have a severe thunderstorm watch currently in effect for northern and central Indiana for hailstones up to 3 inches in diameter. That's larger than baseball size if these storms can organize. Now, that may sound a little extreme, but ping pong ball, golf ball, perhaps larger up to egg size, definitely not out of the question. And if we can get an updraft to fully maximize the ingredients that we have available today, baseball size hail, or perhaps up to 3 inches, that's apple size, cannot be ruled out in isolated storms. Going up here to the north, coming into Howard County, up to quarter size hail, perhaps even a little bit larger just east of Flora. New warning up to ping pong ball size hail. And this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. This is issued by the Northern Office in Northern Indiana. This is for ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is for southeastern Cass County, north central Indiana, as well as southwestern Miami County. Now, it is kind of exiting Miami County. I'm going to go just south of Deer Creek. Nice hail core. This isn't a very large storm, but you can see a nice hail core right in here, just to the east of Flora, right where you see the purples and the blacks. That's where we could be seeing some ping pong ball size hail. It's going to come right along State Road 18, moving near the Galveston, Indiana area. Be on the lookout for some large hail up here to the north. Ping pong ball size hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour. This is also for north central Indiana, northeastern Cass County, and northwestern Miami County. So those counties have 2 warnings currently for the southern end of the county and also the northern end of the county. There's 2 different storms impacting Cass County and Miami County. This is northeastern Cass County and northwestern Miami County. This is until 5:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. These storms aren't moving overly fast, moving about east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. This is ping pong ball size hail. This is north of 24. This is going to be coming near the Denver and Mexico area. Our Adamsboro right now getting in some pretty large hail, likely just on the north side of town, just to the east of State Road 25. Ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. You can see they trimmed the warning back. This is now considerable. We have golf ball size hail on this storm here. This is coming into Fulton, Indiana. This storm here is for south central Fulton County, northeastern Cass County, west central Miami counties. A severe thunderstorm near Rochester, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. This is radar indicated golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. People outside will be injured. Expect hail damage to roof siding, windows, and vehicles. These storms are moving around east-northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. If I go back to one screen here, these are the storms right in here. So if you live downstream, let's say Fort Wayne, Wells County, Grant County, all the way down to the Muncie area, Columbus, Indiana, and north, let's say about north of this zone here, be on the lookout here along the I-69 corridor for some large hail, some of which could be significant. Golf ball size hail or larger cannot be ruled out in some of these storms early on here this evening. These storms are currently moving east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Flash flooding, also a concern in the core of these storms. We have a lot of moisture to work with out there here today. I want to take your attention to, so we do have an active weather camera system here around the state. Here's a look at our Bourbon autonomous yard equipment cam. This is in Bourbon, Indiana. Here's a nice look at the cell coming into Bourbon. This is just on the outside of town. A really nice base here on this storm. You can see the core of the storm just to the southwest of the camera here. really nice cloud base here. You can see the cumulonimbus cloud towering up and the anvil up above here. So a really nice look at the storm here in Bourbon, Indiana. This is currently has a severe thunderstorm warning on it. So we're looking at these storms up in here. Very healthy looking storm here. New severe thunderstorm warning. So the golf ball severe thunderstorm warning has been downgraded to a standard severe thunderstorm warning, but still ping pong ball size hail remains for both of these storms here for Miami County as well as Cass County. Cass County, Miami County currently have 2 warnings. Southwestern Cass County, as well as northern Howard County, also under severe thunderstorm warning for quarter size hail for Howard County. If you go up to Miami County and southwestern Cass County, you're under not a considerable, but a high-end thunderstorm warning for ping pong ball size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. Northwestern Miami County, north central Cass County, and a severe thunderstorm warning for ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. These storms are moving off to the east at generally 30 to 35 miles per hour. So if you live along US 24, from Grant County, Huntington County, Wabash, Whitley, and Fort Wayne, watch these storms closely. They have about an hour or so before they get close to Fort Wayne. So if you're in Fort Wayne, got some time yet. Keep an eye on these storms as they're moving pretty slowly, about 30 to 35 miles per hour. But they do have the potential to form some pretty large hailstones if they're able to remain discreet and organized. Notice how they're kind of grouped close together. This could work against these storms, but any storm that's able to isolate themselves has the better potential to produce some large hailstones within it. So we're going to have to watch those isolated storms for the largest hail threat within those. Other than that, heavy rain, gusty winds, and hails the quarter to ping pong ball not ruled out. Can't rule out some golf balls or perhaps a few larger stones if we're able to get some semi-discrete cells to take advantage of the full ingredient list that we have aloft here today. The atmosphere is quite unstable across Indiana. However, if these storms are made kind of messy, that may limit how many storms are able to get strong enough to produce golf ball and larger. So hail and damaging winds are the primary risks here with these storms. There is a little bit of wind shear out there, so can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado, but primarily we feel that hail and damaging winds are going to be the primary hazards with these storms here. This is round 1. Round 1 is occurring now and through about 8 to 10 p.m. here this evening. Round 2 will come after midnight tonight. We're going to be watching storms that are developing right now in Wisconsin, Iowa, southern Minnesota. Those storms are going to form into a complex, a line of storms that'll move across Lake Michigan into central and southern Michigan after midnight tonight. And they could perhaps move into northern Indiana later this evening. Damaging winds 60 to 70 miles per hour and a spin-up tornado are the primary hazards with that line if it's able to move into northern Indiana. So kind of 2 risks right now. This is round 1, and round 2, if it's able to move into Indiana and organize, will come in after midnight tonight, primarily across northern Indiana. But for right now, round 1 is ongoing, and this is mainly a hail risk and damaging wind risk, though a spin-up tornado is not impossible. It's not the primary hazard here this evening. There is currently a severe thunderstorm watch in effect here in Indiana. I'll go ahead and toggle that on here so you guys can see that here. Let's go right here. Severe thunderstorm watch. All areas in pink here are under a severe thunderstorm watch. This is for another 5 hours and 36 minutes here, or until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Scattered large hail likely with isolated very large hail events, primarily in those isolated storms. Storms that are by themselves have the greatest potential for significant hail, perhaps golf ball or larger. We could even have an instance of baseball size hail, not out of the question, but I think those significant hail events are going to be isolated. The storms have to be isolated for really to maximize the potential for large to significant hail. Scattered damaging wind gusts to 70 miles per hour. As we get storm clusters, we could have some bowing segments that could draw down some rain-cooled air aloft, perhaps 60 to 70 miles per hour. Widespread events, not expected this afternoon, but isolated gusts up to 60 to 70, not out of the question. A tornado or 2 possible as well. However, large hail is going to be the primary hazard here with these storms. Let me toggle off the watch here. That way it's a little bit less messy on your screen. But there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for northern and central Indiana for these storms right here. If you're west of these storms, you're okay for now. You're going to have to watch for some storms maybe later on this evening, but I think the threat will shift north of 24 later tonight. We'll have to see how that trends in Michigan and how far south it's able to come. But you'll be looking at after midnight for them. We have a couple chasers out in the field. We have Steven out in the field with us. Steven, if you can hear us, which cell are you looking at there?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Having some audio issues
Can you
there
hear me,
with
Caleb?
Steven. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm kind of northwest corner of Miami County right now. There's a little hail core heading my way, so I'm trying to face into it, and we'll see what comes with that.
Sounds good. Thanks, Steven. Keep us updated. So Steven is currently in northwestern Miami County, looking at these storms up in here around the Peru area. Currently severe thunderstorm warning for ping pong ball size hail and 60 miles per hour. Go ahead and turn on our hail tracker here. This is helps us determine what our updrafts are looking like and where the hail cores are currently located. So right in here, this is the storm that Steven's looking at here. Now this hail core is a little bit behind. We're waiting on it to load in. It's probably southeast of 12 Mile currently. We're kind of right in here is probably where the new hail core is, and this is where the old hail core used to be. So it is going to move towards Mexico, Denver, US 31. Currently ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Back down south, we have a nice hail core near the Galveston, Indiana area. So two different warnings here, as we have two different offices issuing them. This for Howard County is issued by the National Weather Service in central Indiana and Indianapolis, northern Indiana for areas to the north. Ping pong ball and quarter size hail for these warnings. Looking at the hail core, I would probably lean a little bit towards a $1.25 to a $1.50. Could have a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. This is a healthy looking hail core. Currently, the strongest hail core is currently in northwest Howard County, south of State Road 18. This could move into southwestern Cass County, perhaps south of Miami, in the Miami County area. This is for southwestern Miami County, southeastern Cass County. But the storm is moving off to the east, kind of flirting with the Howard-Cass County line, as well as southern Miami County. You can see Steven there getting impacted by the rain there. You can hear his audio of the heavy rain coming in. Steven is currently looking at these storms moving into Cass County from Miami County. Doesn't sound like he has any hail yet. Okay.
It was slightly larger than pea-sized. It wasn't didn't last for very long, and then it went away.
So some small hail being reported there. And are you still in Miami County, Steven? Or are you in Cass County?
Yes, I am. I'm currently at the intersection of Old 31, just off of 31 itself. But yes, Miami County.
Okay. So these storms now are starting to move into Miami County, and they're looking a little more disorganized there near Peru. So the hail size may have come down from ping pong ball size hail. Currently, there's a warning for ping pong ball size hail. But you can see the hail core here has gone down a little bit, which is good news. There still could be some quarters or perhaps a few larger stones mixed in there. But the updraft has split a little bit, so a little bit more disorganized, with the strongest storm currently in Howard County, coming into Miami County, exiting Cass County. Right now, the strongest hail core just south of the Cass County line, south of Galveston, northwestern Howard County. This is northwest of Kokomo. Could have some larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. Currently warned for ping pong ball size hail for Cass and Miami. Quarter size for Howard County. However, I would kind of lean towards the $1.25, towards a $1.25 to a $1.50 if you're in Howard County. A pretty nice hail core on some products here I have behind the scenes as well. Could have a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground south of Galveston near Kappa Corner. This is going to be coming near US 35, Cassville. Kokomo, I think you're going to get spared on this one. Downtown Kokomo, I think you're going to be okay. The storm's moving more west to east versus south. But if you're north of Kokomo, be on the lookout for some pretty large hailstones. We have two different warnings here because we have two different offices, but I would be leaning towards the $1.25 to $1.50 between $half and ping pong ball size hail in this core here, especially where you see the black. It's not a large hail core, but it's a pretty potent hail core as well. It's a pretty has a pretty solid updraft on it. So I would watch that for some pretty large hailstones within that. Up here in northern Indiana, have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Now for Warsaw and Columbia City, it does get into Whitley County a little bit. This is for western Whitley County, northeastern Fulton County, extreme portions of northeastern Fulton County. Now a lot of this storm is exiting Fulton County. It does include southern Kosciuszko County, as well as southeastern Marshall County. Now, this storm is pretty much exiting Marshall County. Marshall County, you're in the clear. If you're in Plymouth, Indiana, this storm has exited Marshall County. But currently coming near the Warsaw area, could have a hail core in there, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, right kind of on the northern edge of the warning box. Right in here, exiting Marshall County, coming near Warsaw, US 30, could have some quarter-size hail sitting right in there. Coming back down here to the south, a nice hail core near the Wabash area. Gonna have to keep an eye on that one. Could have some small hailstones in there as well. Coming back down to the south towards Indianapolis. Indianapolis, so far you're in the clear, but there is a severe thunderstorm just off to your north and west. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Now, if you notice here, it's the isolated storms that are the strongest. Storms that are kind of messy in nature, I guess, kind of all grouped together. We call that a storm cluster. Those storms are kind of struggling to see which storm can take advantage of the ingredients, and they're kind of fighting over those ingredients aloft. Those are typically going to be short-lived in terms of their max intensity, but the storm on the south that is isolated and all by itself, this storm is currently the strongest as it has no competition around it, and it's able to maximize some potential a little bit. So pretty strong hail core here just south of the Cass County, Miami County line. Currently just south of Galveston and northern Howard County, north of 22. This is going to come near US 31. Near the Kokomo Municipal Airport there, could have some hailstones coming into this area as well. Going to come near Cassville and north of Kokomo. Kokomo itself, I think, is going to be okay. The hail core is just off to your north. It's kind of splitting the Miami County, Howard County line. You can see the hail core there right on top of US 35, just to the southwest of Cassville. This is our strongest storm currently. Could have some hailstones between quarter and $1.50. So between quarter size and ping pong ball size hail within this storm here. This is currently the strongest storm here in the state of Indiana. Moving off to the east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. We have some other small storms starting to pop up from Anderson, Alexandria, Noblesville. Have a few storms. Heavy rain, pea-size hail in these. But we're going to have to watch all of these storms in case they intensify later down the road. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 p.m. A few larger hailstone events can't be ruled out. If you guys are getting impacted by these storms, let us know what you're seeing. Let us know what your hail size is. I'd love to know what hail we are seeing out of these storms. That's very beneficial. We have a new warning in effect here. Indianapolis still remaining with quarter-size hail. This is for northern Howard County, north of 35. Does not include Grant County at this point in time. But the worst of the hail core is south of Miami County, currently moving east at about 35 miles per hour. Moving east at 45 miles per hour. So sped up just a little bit. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. There could be a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few larger stones. Let me turn on a product here, actually, just to see if we have any type of spat or spike. This will show the more intense portion of the hail core, maybe a little bit, kind of right in there. This is a little bit behind, but perhaps a little bit of a spatter spike there with some hail core making their way down to the ground, kind of drawn out a little bit, just like what we see on the radar here. But right where you see the pinks and blacks, that's where the core of this storm is. That's where your largest hailstones would be. up to quarter size and perhaps even a little bit larger, maybe $1.25, making their way down to the ground. That's $half in diameter. But let us know if you guys have any reports of some large hail. Would love to know what you guys are currently seeing. Always love to see what you guys are seeing currently. Currently, we have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings here in effect, 6 technically. This is just an extended warning on it. All of these are for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. We do have one up here for ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. However, it does expire here in a few minutes. So I currently do not believe there is ping pong ball size hail falling for northern Miami County around the Peru area, but there could be some perhaps dimes and nickels falling within this storm around the Peru area coming towards Wabash. We have a little bit of a weaker updraft here compared to what we saw a few moments ago, with the strongest storm in northern Howard County coming into southern Miami County, kind of right on the Howard-Miami County line, north of Kokomo. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, but I would personally not be surprised if we saw a few larger stones, perhaps up to $1.25 coming down out of that storm there. We'll just have to see how that trends here. If you guys have any storm reports, that would be beneficial as well, if you can do so safely, of course. I'm actually going to put a post out on social media here for a hail thread report as a place for you guys to show your hail reports. If you guys have any hailstones falling currently or have any measurements, we'd love to see those. We can pass that on to the National Weather Service as well. Just let us know what you guys are seeing. If you can do so safely, again, time, event, location, do the tell method, the time it occurred, where it occurred, and what happened, what size hailstones fell at your location, or if you had any wind damage. Let us know if you guys have any wind damage with these storms as well. Currently, they're kind of messy a little bit. We call this a little bit disorganized. We have kind of a storm complex, kind of a messy cluster of storms, semi-discrete storms on the southern flank a little bit. The ones that remain semi-discrete are going to be the ones to watch that have the greatest potential for large hail, damaging winds. Those are going to be the primary hazards with these storms. A brief tornado cannot be ruled out. There's a little bit of spin. However, we feel that hail and damaging winds are going to be the primary hazards here going into the evening, and those would be the main hazards to watch, which would be torrential rainfall, a lot of lightning, large hail, and there's a new warning here downstream. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This includes Wabash County, Huntington County, as well as east central Miami County. Quarter-size hail, you can see the updrafts there just a little bit, so there could be a few quarters mixing their way down to the ground. Quarter-size hail is the baseline for a severe thunderstorm, which is capable of leaving dents in vehicles. So if you have any vehicles out, now's a good time to put them in a garage or carport if you have one. There could be some hail headed your way. This does include Wabash, Treaty, Somerset, LaFountain, and Largo. A quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. The hail report thread should be out now on Indiana Weather Online, and that will be coming out here on Indiana Weather Network here shortly. If you guys have any hail reports or anything like that, be sure to find that post and comment. Would love to see what hail size is going on at your location there. Lots of hail makers here today in Indiana. We've had some warnings up to golf ball size hail. We haven't had any confirmed reports of golf balls yet. But I'd be curious to know what hail size is falling at your location. If you can do so safely, never go out in a hailstorm to gather stones. Always wait until the storm has passed. During these storms, move to an interior room away from windows, as wind-driven hail is strong enough to break windows and crack windows, and you never want to put yourself in those situations. So treat these warnings seriously and move to an interior room away from windows. Have several severe thunderstorm warnings. New one now including Grant County, southern Miami County, northern Howard County. This is for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So the National Weather Service does have confidence that there's quarters falling versus a little bit larger stones. But if you guys have any hail reports, feel free to let us know. what you guys see there. Going back to go ahead and take Stephen full here. He supposedly has a pretty nice rainbow to show us. I'll try to pull him up there. Kind of hard to see on his screen. He sent a picture of it in the chat, and you can see it a little bit better there. It could be washed out there. He's pointing at it there, just under the cloud. Kind of hard to see there. So it's kind of a shallow rainbow. Kind of hard to see there. Stephen's currently in Miami County looking at the backside of these storms. So if you're on the backside of them, there could be just enough clearing. You could get a rainbow or two. Always cool to see. Going back down towards Indianapolis here, start on these warnings from north to south. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for 4 more minutes. This is for Boone County, Indiana. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Currently, the hail core just to the southeast of Lebanon, near I-65 coming into Whitestown. Could have some hailstones falling there. If you're in Fishers or Noble County, just rain and some lightning for you. There could be some small hail, pea-size perhaps, but they look sub-severe if you're in Noble County. But we're going to have to watch this out to your west, as it could have some small hail associated with it. Same thing here if you're in the Martinsville area. Nice little cell popped up there. Currently sub-severe, but there is some lightning associated with it, maybe some pea-size hail. The storms that are severe are currently in central and northern Indiana. Lots of warnings up here. We'll start north to south. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is for western Whitley County and southern Kosciuszko County in northern Indiana. You can see the hail core currently right outside of Warsaw. This is going to be coming into Warsaw for the heaviest of the core. This is where your hail would be located, kind of right in there, coming right into Warsaw. Quarter-size hail and winds perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. This is in effect for 17 more minutes. Going back down to south here for Wabash, Huntington, and Miami County. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is for Wabash County in central Indiana, north-central Grant County, in central, north-central Indiana, as well as Miami County until 6:15. These storms are moving east at 35 miles per hour. Grant County is also in a severe thunderstorm warning for the cell off to the west, north of Kokomo. Kind of flirting between the Miami-Howard County line is kind of where the hail core is. A new hail core developed just to the west of Galveston. This is for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Currently, our updraft looks the healthiest on our Howard-Miami County cell on the southern end of this kind of a messy complex here. Currently, the cell on the south has the strongest updraft associated with it. Right where you see the blacks, right in here, is where you're likely going to have some heavy hail falling, quarter-size hail, perhaps maybe getting a little bit larger as well. Yeah, Wabash County is an all-siren county, meaning they warn their sirens even for severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, a large misconception is a lot of times people hear storm sirens and automatically think tornado. While that's not a bad thing, you react to it. We call them outdoor warning sirens, for they are specifically designed to warn those who are outside of a storm or that has a hazard to it, whether it's a tornado or hail, that they need to seek shelter in an interior room away from windows of a sturdy structure, meaning don't stay outside, come inside because there's a storm on the way. So Wabash is one of those counties that will sound sirens for a severe thunderstorm warning. Not all counties do that, but Wabash is one that I believe does sound their sirens for severe thunderstorm warnings. We'll go ahead and turn on our velocity here just to see what the winds are doing with our thunderstorms. And you can see a nice gust front here coming into Warsaw, Indiana, as well as some hail coming into Warsaw. A couple different hail cores associated with this. We have a core just to the south of Winona Lake and a hail core coming into Warsaw here. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Here's the gust front associated with it. These brighter greens coming into town right there. Could have winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour per the warning, as well as quarter-size hail coming back down to the south. A really nice core here. So could have some wind-driven hail if you're in northern Howard County. Notice how we have some brighter greens here. This is not rotation. This is likely a downburst or a microburst ongoing associated with our hail core. So a very intense downburst in a thunderstorm. Likely going to have wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, as well as quarter-size hail, or even perhaps a little bit larger. There's golf ball size hail. So just talking about that hail core, how it looked a little bit more spicy than just quarter-size hail. So golf ball size hail. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning and winds up to 60 miles per hour. So this is a dangerous storm if you're in northern Howard County in the Miami County line, south of State Road 18, north of Greentown. Likely going to have some very large hailstones falling, as well as microbursts, perhaps. Look at these brighter reflectivities coming near the airport. So wind gusts to 60 miles per hour, as well as hailstones up to 1.75 inches in diameter, which is golf ball size hail. That's a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So very, very large hail falling here with this storm as it crosses US 31 and is going to move towards Swayze. So golf ball size hail, as well as 60 mile per hour winds. Currently, Grant County is in a baseline severe thunderstorm for quarter size hail. We'll have to see how this storm trends as it moves towards Howard County and into Grant County. There's the next reflectivity here. Still some gusty winds ongoing within the core of this storm. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. But likely a microburst or a downburst occurred there within the core of this storm, along with hailstones up to golf ball in diameter. This is radar indicated, or never mind, observed. This is an observed warning, so golf ball size hail has been observed. A severe thunderstorm was located near Kokomo, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Now it's on the north side of Kokomo. Emergency management reported golf ball size hail near US 31 at the Howard-Miami County line. So right on the county line of Howard and Miami County, emergency management reported golf ball size hail. That is confirmed. So golf ball size hail is currently falling here within this storm. And in fact, there's an INDOT camera and you can see the hail on the ground. Let me see if I can pull it in here for you. Kind of hard to see on your screen, but if you look closely, there's little white specks in the grass. Those are hailstones that has fallen here. This is US 31, and you can see the hail on the ground here. And they do look to be larger than quarter size on this image here. So golf ball size hail confirmed by emergency management, and you can see a few of those larger stones in the grass here on US 31 where I went over this camera. So golf ball size hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour. This is the considerable severe thunderstorm warning. This is moving east, and we'll get a wind speed for you here to see if it's still 35. It is still 35 miles per hour. And near the Howard County, Miami County line. The worst of the hail core, though, does look to be in Howard County, about a mile south of the county line between Miami and Howard County. Currently, Grant County is in a baseline severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-size hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour. So we are going to have to watch to see if this maintains its intensity into Grant County or if it's going to weaken a little bit. We do have a storm out ahead of it. Hopefully that takes away some of the ingredients and the storm is able to weaken a little bit. Go ahead and turn back on our hail tracker, our updraft. Waiting on it to update here. It's lagging behind just a little bit. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning we'll mention here. This is for northern Indiana. Quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Go ahead and get the warning text open here for you. If it opens, there we go. This is for southeastern Elkhart County, as well as southwestern Noble County and northeastern Kosciuszko County. Moving northeast at 35, quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. This includes Warsaw, Indiana. This is for the northern half of that cell for this hail core right in here. Now, this product is lagging behind a little bit. We'll likely see this blob closer to US 30. So it is lagging behind. Go ahead and switch radars here to see if I have an updated core. There's a little bit better. There you can see the hail core associated with this. Now, the hail core does look to be intensifying a little bit just to the west of Marion. You can see we have some black showing up here, and yet we don't have the updated updraft yet. But based on reflectivity right in here, I'll go ahead and circle it for you. If you're near State Road 18 in Marion, likely going to have some quarter-size hail moving into town here, as well as torrential rainfall. These storms are moving east at about 35 miles per hour. And notice just how wide the stretch of rain is. And this is torrential rainfall. Rainfall rates at 1 inch to 2 inches per hour. So could have some very heavy rainfall rates associated with these storms as they move east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So watch out for ponding. So there could be some brief hydrologic concerns associated with these storms as well. So do be on the lookout for that. See if I have updated. I do not have the updated updraft product yet from Northern Indiana's radar. a lot of times vertical integrated liquid, it's a VIL product that shows our updraft intensity. Usually we don't get a data feed for that as quickly as what we do for reflectivity, like where a rain is on the left side of your screen, or wind speed. So it is a slower product to refresh. Um, but if we go back to something we can do just to see what the hail core will look like, we can go to what we call correlation coefficiency. This is showing or differentiating between raindrops, hailstones, or debris. We use the same product for tornadoes. While we don't have any tornadoes at the moment, we can also use this for hail. This measures objects of different velocity and size. Hailstones are different size than raindrops, and this can help pick that out just a little bit. So perhaps right in there, you can see a little bit of color starting to show up, which matches pretty well with the black and purple that you see on the radar. That's the core of your storm. That's the downdraft. That's where some quarter-size hail is likely being embedded in there. And you can see this could be a little bit of clutter. It's kind of distorted a little bit. You can see it move there just a little bit. So likely right in here. This is what we call kind of a little bit of a spatter spike. This is for larger stones or a large amount of hailstones falling according to the radar here. This is from northern Howard County, moving into western Grant County here shortly, State Road 13. So Swayze, right now, the worst of the hail core looks to go just north of town. Think Swayze and north, between Swayze and 18 is kind of where the hail core is associated with that. This is golf ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. If you're in Grant County, quarter size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Go ahead and turn back on our wind here. Let's go velocity here to see what our winds are doing here. See a little bit of some gusty winds associated with that. Go ahead and switch radars here to see. There we go. You can see a nice downburst here, right in here, associated with the core. So likely a strong downburst still ongoing. Could have some golf ball size hail as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. Gonna have to keep an eye on that as well. So a pretty strong storm there that's in northern Howard County. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for central and northern Indiana till 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Currently, we have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here in the state of Indiana. Up here to the north, near the National Weather Service's office here, quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds is for Elkhart County, Noble, and Kosciuszko until 6:15. Moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. You can see the gust front right in there, those brighter greens there, and a little bit of the hail core perhaps on this one as well. Go ahead and turn back on our hail tracker. So the hail size on this storm, if you're in this warning here for Kosciuszko, Noble, and Elkhart County, and when I say Elkhart County, I mean extreme portions of southeast Elkhart County. If you're in Elkhart, you're okay right now. They're just watching this storm as it does move northeast. More of a wind threat right now versus a hail threat, which is good. There still could be some stones mixed in there, but for right now, looks to be more of a wind threat versus the hail threat as we have our updated VIL. The hail core is intensified a little bit, matured a little bit west of Marion. Some quarter-size hail likely falling there just on the east side of town, getting ready to move into town right now. And a solid hail core for southern Miami County, northern Howard County is still the strongest storm. Golf ball size hail winds to 60 miles per hour. And this is an observed tag as well. Emergency management on the Howard Miami County line has confirmed golf ball size hail with this storm. So it has a history of producing golf ball size hail as it moves towards Marion County. There's the updated scan there on reflectivity. Go ahead and turn back on our winds associated with this to take a look at that. So you can see the winds associated with that, and nice brighter pocket of greens there in northern Howard County. Gonna have to keep an eye on that area as it moves towards the Grant County and southern Miami County. bear with me here. I'm just communicating with some chasers here behind the scenes who are currently on these storms. They're giving us live feed update here behind the scenes, so we can know what is going on. There are eyes on the ground for these storms. Updated warning now for Grant County, ping pong ball size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. Go ahead and read the warning off to you. The severe thunderstorm was located over Sweetster, or 8 miles west of Marion, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Hazard ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is radar indicated. Locations impacted include Marion, Sweetster, Swayze, Sims, Consverse, Amboy, Roseburg. We have Meyer and Herbst also included by these storms. This is for this storm currently here, as well as the storm that is currently moving into Grant County. So we have 2 storms in Grant County currently, both of which have decent VIL, a couple different hail cores associated with it. The first hail core is moving into Marion right now, and the second hail core is in Howard County, Miami County, moving into Grant County here in a little bit. So you can see 3 solid hail cores definitively here. Our northern warning for Wabash County and Huntington County, as well as eastern Miami County. However, this storm here in central Miami County is working its way out of the county, moving into Wabash County, is warned for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds with the hail core right in here. I would say it is out of Miami County for the hail core, right on State Road 124 southwest of Wabash, coming towards Treaty and LaFountain, as well as Lincolnville as well for the hail core in Wabash County, right in there, moving east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. We have another hail core just to the south. This is for the Howard-Miami County line right in here, as well as coming into Marion. So 3 hail cores, so 3 updrafts with these cells here. And you can see the hail cores right where you see the brighter purples and even some blacks right in here. This is where the hail cores currently are located on radar, on reflectivity, where the heaviest precipitation is falling. Likely going to have hailstones up to ping pong ball size hail. They've updated the warning here. Golf ball size hail still warned for Howard County with ping pong ball size hail for Grant County, as well as southeastern Miami County under a warning for ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. We'll have to watch that as this cell is currently warned for golf balls moves into Grant County. There is a chance the hail size went down a little bit, and they're warning it for ping pong ball size hail ahead of it. We're just going to have to keep an eye on trends as it moves into Grant County. Another threat that we have here this evening is heavy rainfall. These storms are not moving very fast, only at 30 to 35 miles per hour. So torrential rainfall is ongoing with these storms, which could cause some ponding and some hydrologic issues as well if you're in these areas. So do watch out for ponding. It is rush hour across the area, going on 6 o'clock now. It's 5:59 Eastern Daylight Time. Could have some hydrologic issues as well. If you're not directly going to be impacted by hail, we could have some hydrologic impacts as well developing. These storms aren't moving very fast. Looking at some of your hail reports that we see here. Thank you guys for participating. 2 miles north of Logansport. This was around 5:20 this afternoon. Very large hailstones, perhaps near ping pong ball size hail. We have a couple photos coming in. Thank you, Nicole, for that one. Some spiky hail too. A lot of our hailstones have some spikes on them today too. A really moist atmosphere associated with that. Hailstones form through a process called riming. When they bounce around, they bump into each other. Sometimes if the hail is softer, different smaller hailstones can stick to each other. And as they stick, they freeze, and you can get legs sticking off of them, arms or spikes, and you can get some really fun sizes. But that also allows them to accrete and grow aloft until they're too heavy to where the updraft can't support it any longer, and they fall down to the ground. But a lot of spiky hail out there today. and seeing a lot of comments between P's and a few hailstones up to golf ball size coming in on our comments as well. Cass County showing some very large hailstones with the storms that moved through earlier as well. And even Warsaw getting in on some hailstones, perhaps up to $half size, if approaching ping pong ball size hail earlier this afternoon as well. So some very large hailstones in there as well. So thank you guys for commenting. Again, if you want to comment what hail size you're seeing, do it after the storm, not during the storm. During the storm, I want you in your safe place. But there have been some large hailstones reported in these storms. So thank you guys for submitting those in. Currently, the strongest hail core is moving into Grant County right now. Currently warned for ping pong ball size hail. So it looks like the golf ball size hail has been allowed to expire. We're back to below a considerable warning, but it's still a high-end severe thunderstorm warning for $half size hail and ping pong ball size hail. So between $1.25 and $1.50 is where we're at with these storms here. These storms are moving east, northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Torrential rainfall is also occurring here. Wouldn't be surprised if a few of these areas pick up an inch of rainfall in about 30 to 45 minutes. That's how heavy the rain is falling in some of these cores here. We could see a flash flood threat or a localized flooding threat until the soil is able to absorb and take in that water. But water is falling at a pretty high rate here as well. Currently, no extension of the severe thunderstorm warning for Huntington, Lancaster, or areas east of Marion, which is some good news here. But there could be some smaller hail associated with it. If you guys are in Marion, let me know what your hail size was associated with this core here that went over town on the north side of town right in here. Be curious to know if there's any nickels or dimes in that core there. But the strongest core is currently coming into Grant County north of Sims between State Road 13 and State Road 18. We're back to so National Weather Service in Indianapolis has it at $1.25. Northern Indiana has it at ping pong ball size hail. So we're going to have to see, kind of shooting in that ballpark between $half and ping pong ball size hail. Either way, plenty large enough to do some damage and injure you if you're outside. So interior room, away from windows as well. Peru, marble size hail. Thank you for that. Now, this could just be me, but when we describe hail sizes, try to pick uniform objects. So marbles, while most of us think of marbles around, maybe pennies or so in diameter, 0.75, 0.50, somewhere in there. Marbles, they do make different sizes of marbles, all the way up to about 1.5 inches diameter. There's some big marbles out there. So try to use like coins for reference, or objects that they don't make different sizes of for the best description there. Because I don't know what marble we're thinking of. It could be a big marble, like a jumbo marble that I wish I had as a kid, or, a really small marble. So do keep that in mind when reporting hail sizes. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for the Newcastle area, as well as south of Anderson. This is a baseline severe thunderstorm warning for wind, 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with this storm here on the northeast side of Indianapolis. This is for Madison County, Hancock, Henry, and Hamilton County till 6:30 p.m. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Radar indicated penny-size hail, 0.75. So there could be a few embedded, cores where there could be some smaller hailstones associated with that. Coming back up here to our severe thunderstorm warning, does continue. It's shrunk down quite a bit. I don't see any hail associated with this one at the moment, which is good. It is still warned for quarter-size hail, but we're also right on top of the radar here as well. So because we can't look high up into the storm here, we don't really know what our updraft is currently doing here to the best of the radar's ability. Going back here to velocity, go and turn on our winds here. You can see that gust front moving right over the IWX radar. Hit play here. You can see that gust front right in there north of US 30, those brighter greens right in there. That's that gust front there as it races off to the north and northeast. So could have some gusty winds associated with that. Coming back down here to the south, not as bright as velocity as what we saw a little bit ago with this storm here, but the radar is looking through quite a few storms. Let's go get a look here from the south at our winds. Yeah, calm down a little bit. I think we may have had perhaps a microburst north of Kokomo when we had some golf balls in there. There was some brighter reflectivity in there as well. Go ahead and turning back on our hail tracker here. This is called Vertical Integrated Liquid. This allows us to see our individual updrafts. The brighter the whites, the grays, the stronger updrafts. Grant County currently still warned for ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. If you're in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I saw a couple questions in there for the Summit City. You guys are okay right now. You guys are still included in that severe thunderstorm watch, but you're okay right now. The worst of the storms are moving south of town. Now, that doesn't mean your threat is zero. Now, for round one, you may get away with it. Bear with me here as we're going through some different formatting here behind the scenes. There's a live look at Corey, who is out in the field here, one of our chasers here. Corey, if you can hear us, where are you currently located at? See if we can get in contact with Corey there. May not be able to hear us. That's okay. Corey's one of our chasers. He's getting in position here for these storms. Oh, there he is. May not be able to hear us. That's okay. Corey's one of... Yep. That's okay. So, kind of some service outage there with Corey. Go ahead and mute him for now until we get some better service. But Fort Wayne, currently you guys are in the clear. You guys are okay. Watch these storms to the south, but for right now, you guys are okay. Could have some gusty showers moving through, but the heaviest showers look like are going to remain to the south. Think Wells County, Huntington County, and Grant County. Jay County and Blackford County. Going to have to watch you guys as well for these storms moving, especially southern Wells County, northern Grant County, northern Blackford County, and Jay. For these southern cells right in here seem to have been the strongest here. But we also have a strong thunderstorm in southern Wabash County as well. There's a new warning extended for that one. This is for central Huntington County. And this is for quarter-size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. So not golf ball, not ping pong ball for Huntington County, but quarter-size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. So some good news there. These storms will be working their way into Wells County and perhaps Adams County as well, but we're a ways away from you guys there. Torrential rainfall is also occurring here. Grant County currently has the strongest warning still in effect. Ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Now we are kind of getting onto the later end of the warning box here. This warning does expire in 7 minutes, so we may see an updated warning here probably in the next 5 minutes or so. We'll have to see what the National Weather Service deems, if they're going to keep it at $1.50 ping pong ball size hail, or if they're going to upgrade or downgrade. That'll be up to the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. The hail threat is observed, though, at $1.50. Go ahead and read the warning here at 5:55 p.m. So this was a little bit ago, about 15 minutes ago. A severe thunderstorm was located over Sweetser, or 8 miles west of Marion, moving east at 40 miles per hour. And there's our updated warning. What about the timing on that? Forget 5 minutes. They did it in 1 minute. Ping pong ball size hail and 60 mile per hour wind gusts. People and animals outdoors will be injured. Go ahead and read the new warning here for you. This is for quarter-size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. So the good news is the hail threat with this storm has decreased a little bit. And some of that could be, notice how it's not by itself anymore. It's messy. There's a lot of different updrafts. Like if I can circle each individual updrafts here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 6, right? Maybe 7. 7 different updrafts here. All those white circles are some individual updrafts, some rising air associated with our convection here, and they're all fighting over the same ingredients, right? Well, when you have this many storms or this many updrafts fighting over the same ingredients, it makes it harder for one updraft to really take advantage of all those ingredients. So hopefully we see the hail size continue to go down. But something that's developing here, though, is that these storms are developing along a boundary here. And they're only moving at about 35 miles per hour. So while the hail thrice right now is below ping pong ball size hail, we're back to quarter size. There's a lot of rainfall occurring here across southern Huntington County, Grant County, moving into Wells County. So we're going to start having to watch for ponding. So if you're on State Road 218, 18, we got 5 and 3 in here as well, and I-69, watch out for ponding. There's likely a heavy rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour falling in the cores of these storms, and that can be problematic, especially in urban environments, rural environments where you have some gullies or any viaducts that you may be driving under as well. Watch out for some ponding as rainfall rates are around 1 to 2 inches per hour in the heaviest of cores. So very heavy rainfall rates associated with these storms, as well as some small hail, up to quarter size hail. This is severe criteria. So for a thunderstorm to be severe, let's play it out for you. So a baseline severe thunderstorm, which is what we have here right now, may be intensifying on the latest scan. You can see the core there showing some more black. And but for a baseline severe thunderstorm, we need quarter size hail, 1-inch diameter or greater, 58-mile-per-hour winds or greater. A lot of times you'll see 60-mile-per-hour on the warning tag. And then for considerable, we need golf ball size hail or larger for stones. We have seen a couple of those here this afternoon. But if you're in Marion, Indiana, watch out for some pretty nice hail core just off to your west, coming up to US 35, crossing State Road 13, State Road 18. And you can actually see right in here, right? We see these brighter colors. So we use, this is called correlation coefficient. This is a product you may be familiar with if you follow us for tornado coverage. It also picks out tornado debris, but we can also use it for hailstones as well. We don't have any tornadoes currently here in Indiana, but we do have hail cores. So what this tool does, it allows us to differentiate what is raindrops, which are uniform in size. They all fall at the same size and the same rate. But when we have objects bouncing around of different size and velocity, we can pull those out and we can separate those. And that's what this product does. It works for hailstones. Hailstones are irregular in shape, size, and velocity as they bounce around in the storm. And we can see those pinpointed here on this product. And that's what allows us to differentiate that. And you can see how these colors match up really well with the blacks and purples that we see on your screen there, crossing State Road 13, moving towards Marion. So this is what we call a spatter spike, likely a nice consolidated core of torrential rainfall, hailstones, quarter, perhaps even a bit larger now with this storm. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. So the warning is currently for quarter size hail for the updated warning as it moves towards Marion, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that as it moves off to the east at about 35 miles per hour. Go ahead and turn back on our updraft here, our VIL. You can see kind of 3 updrafts to keep an eye on. We have one in northeastern Grant County moving into the boot of Wells County, likely some smaller hail associated with that. We have one on the northeast side of Marion County, north of Gas City, coming up on I-69, as well as a very large hail core. This is the strongest hail core in Indiana currently, coming into Marion County. Both of the strongest hail cores are currently in Grant County, northern Grant County. So Marion, Indiana, you had some small hail a little bit ago. Likely going to see some more hail here in a few minutes. A very large hail core moving in your direction, likely a lot of quarter size hail. And I would not be surprised to see this upgraded, perhaps a few larger stones. So let's say $1.25. Hopefully we don't get the ping pong and larger, but I would kind of shoot for a quarter to $1.25 within the core. It looks very healthy again on radar, as well as torrential rainfall. Going back on velocity, go ahead and look at our winds here associated with this storm to see what they're doing in the core. There you can see a nice kind of a gusty core associated with this as well. So there is some pockets of strong winds in the downdrafts of these storms as they move off to the east. This storm is currently moving at 30 miles per hour. So these storms are not moving fast at all, but they are producing torrential rainfall, hail between quarter size and ping pong ball size hail, currently warned for quarters. We may see that hail size go up in Grant County as the core is looking a little bit more organized on radar. Go ahead and turn back on our correlation coefficient to look at the hail core. There you go. This is what we call a TBSS. This is the spatter spike here west of Marion. So likely some larger hailstones falling to the ground, and a lot of them as well. So plan on at least quarters, but I would not be surprised to see a few larger stones making their way down to the ground. So a very large hail core just to the south of State Road 18, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So if you're in Gas City or Marion, heads up. A very strong hail core just off to the west. This is moving east at 35 miles per hour. Still warned for quarters, but I would not be surprised to see a few larger stones coming their way down to the ground. If you're near Roseburg, Sweetster, or Swayze, especially just north of Swayze, like on the north side of town, coming into Marion, likely some large hailstones coming into town. So I see some questions here for the hail core. Go ahead and actually take correlation coefficient full here, as that gives me the best. Let me do this here. Sorry. As I go to full screen, it moves my option bar around just a little bit. Let me go to correlation here to show you the spatter spike. So violet and purple here, that's just rain. But what I'm going to circle here is the hail core. This is where you have the largest stones in correlation where Marion is now. And this is going to move east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So if you're south of Shady Hills, so think downtown Marion and south, likely going to see some larger hailstones move into town. Perhaps quarter size and perhaps even a couple larger stones mixing their way down to the ground as well. So think State Road 18 and south for the larger stones. If you're on the north side, could still see some quarter size hail, but the larger stones are going to be near Marion, Indiana. Go ahead and switch back here. But definitely some quarters falling, but there could be a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. Definitely not out of the question at all. You can see a really pronounced hail core here, likely going to go right over Marion. It did move north just a little bit. So quarter size hail at least. I would not be surprised to see a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground if you're in Grant County, Indiana. Just a conglomerate of a mess moving into Wells County, Indiana. Nothing overly significant up here at the moment. There's a few updrafts to watch. The one to watch would be going into the boot of Wells County. A little bit of perhaps a hail core right in there. A little bit of color showing up there associated with this updraft, maybe some quarter size hail. This would be moving in near the Van Buren area, Fairview, south of Warren, Indiana, into the boot of Wells County. So the Keystone area south of 218. Watch this hail core here with the strongest hail core in Grant County coming into Marion, Indiana. Still would not be surprised to see a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground if you're in Grant County in the Marion, Indiana. Unfortunately, that storm is looking pretty healthy on radar once again for some hailstones. Currently don't see any rotation or anything like that within any of these storms at the moment. But there is a nice gust front associated with this storm. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I do want to speak on what takes precedence over another. Go ahead and switch back to Indianapolis here. Severe thunderstorm warning does continue for 12 minutes, and this is for the Anderson area, Pendleton area. This is for Madison, Hancock, and Henry counties. This storm is moving east at 40 miles per hour, quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Strongest hail core right up here near the Pendleton area, just east of Pendleton, right along US 36, moving towards the Newcastle area. So watch out for some pockets of gusty winds. If you're south of Indianapolis, not really a lot going on. Your atmosphere is capped, it's hot and it's humid, but we don't have a lot in the way of thunderstorms going on here. And still remaining as quarter size hail for this area here, but likely some strong gusty winds mixing in on the core. And again, I would not be surprised to see a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. Within this storm here. Currently, the strongest storm still in Grant County, still warned for quarter size hail. Both of these storms are for quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Now, the storm that prompted the warning for Wabash County and Huntington County, Wabash, you're currently in the clear. The storms have now moved out of the area. If you're in southern Huntington County, still under a severe thunderstorm warning. However, these storms have weakened a little bit. Go ahead and turning back on our vertical integrated liquid or updrafts. The storm's moving into like towards the Bluffton area and areas south. Currently look to be below severe criteria in terms of hail. But if you're in southern Wells County, south of State Road 218, they trimmed that warning back just a little bit. But the hail core right in here, here, and here. So there's 3 updrafts to keep an eye on, with the strongest updraft near Grant County, Marion, Indiana, and Gas City, Indiana. The Gas City, Indiana storm, Marion, Indiana storm, that's the strongest storm currently. That has the healthiest looking updraft. On this storm currently, go ahead and turn back on our correlation coefficient here to look at the hail core. Maybe a little bit of a spatter spike on there, but likely going to have some quarter-size hail moving into town. This is kind of taking a supercellular shape as well. You can kind of see a little bit of a hook echo on it. Not really seeing any rotation near the ground, maybe some broad rotation just southwest of Marion, but nothing that really screams a tornado by any means. Well, what this will do, it could allow this storm to keep producing hail for a little bit while longer yet. Once we get a mesocyclone, even though if they're not tornadic, not all supercells produce tornadoes, but once you get that broadly rotating updraft and more importantly, a tilted updraft aloft, that's when you can get some longer lived hail production as well. The storm is organized and it's a lot better. You notice it's a southern storm as well, so it has better access to ingredients such as instability, moisture, wind shear, etc. And there is a little bit of rotation on there, but primarily gusty winds and hail. We're up to ping pong ball size hail now for Marion, Indiana. The strongest hail core is just south of town. So it did skirt south just a nudge, only by a couple miles. But ping pong ball size hail from Marion. If you're in the Gas City area, Marion I-69 from Arcana, Upland, and Van Buren, watch out for ping pong ball size hail as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. So we currently have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings in the state currently for Huntington, Grant County, under a severe thunderstorm warning. Well, I guess this warning here does include the boot of Wells County under a severe thunderstorm warning. However, the strongest storm, if I go back and turn on updraft, could have some gusty winds coming into Bluffton, but they look sub-severe at this point in time. As I go back and turn on our updrafts here, 2 updrafts that really draw my attention. Obviously, the one coming into Marion and Gas City, this is warned for ping pong ball size hail. So a very healthy looking storm, but it's also a supercell. You can see a nice hook echo on radar. We do have that broadly rotating updraft aloft. Now, this does not scream tornado. I want to be clear on that right now. But what it does tell me is we have a tilted updraft now, and that's going to allow this storm to potentially, hopefully not, but potentially produce hail for a little while longer yet, as it's a little bit more organized than the storms around it. The other updraft to keep an eye on is near the Van Buren area, just to the west of Keystone and Montpelier, Indiana, south of Warren, coming into Van Buren, crossing I-69, right in here. So we have storm number 1 and storm number 2 back here by Marion. Both of these are producing hail, likely some quarter-size hail perhaps in the Van Buren area, northeastern Grant County, coming into the boot of Wells County, north of Blackford County. So if you're in Blackford County, like Montpelier, Hartford, or Hartford City, as a lot of us call it in northern Indiana, I would keep an eye on this storm near Marion, Indiana. If you're in the Blackford County area, as the storm is skirting along the State Road 18 corridor. Torrential rainfall ongoing elsewhere across the region here. Going back on our velocity here to look at our winds. Some gusty winds coming into Bluffton, look sub-severe, with the strongest winds near Marion and the core of the storm, a very healthy looking core associated with the storm here. If we go back and turn on correlation coefficient here for our hailstones, right in there, you can see the hail core right in there, just on the south side of Marion. Right where you see the blacks and the blues on the left and right side of your screen, likely going to have some very large hailstones associated with this, up to ping pong ball size hail, or even a little bit longer or larger if you're on the south side of Marion. Very healthy looking storm on radar, as well on some other products I have here behind the scenes. It looks very healthy. Could have some large hailstones mixing down to the ground, at least ping pong ball size hail. But currently, two warnings in effect here for Indiana: Huntington County, southwestern Wells County, and the boot of Wells County, as well as Grant County, Indiana. The severe thunderstorm warning for Indianapolis, or for the Newcastle area, remains in effect here for 4 minutes. We'll have to see if we get a new warning on that or if it's going to be allowed to expire. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail for the Newcastle area. But I'm focusing up here on the storm in Grant County, Indiana, near Marion, as that's currently the strongest storm here in the state of Indiana, is up here in northeast Indiana. Just going through some of our chaser comments here behind the scenes. We do have a few chasers out in the field here today. None of them are near the Grant County storm, though. We have a couple of them near the Newcastle storm, but I don't have any in northern Indiana at the moment. But we are watching the storm near Marion, Indiana, currently warned for ping pong ball size hail. We have two, ping pong ball size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. Now, the strongest hail core is going on the south side of Marion. If I zoom in here, right where you see the blacks, right in here, Indiana Wesleyan University, IWU, coming into you right now, getting hit with some hailstones. If you're north of IWU, Beth Haven, Brookhaven, as well as the Marion VA Medical Center, also on deck for some ping pong ball size hail, or perhaps even a few larger stones mixing their way down to the ground. If you're in Marion or areas, let me know what your hail size is, but wait to report that until after the storm has passed. It is currently not safe to be outside in that vicinity there. Going back on our winds here associated with this. Nice gust front coming through Bluffton, Indiana. Looks to be kind of below severe criteria at the moment, but going back out here towards Grant County, Indiana, this is our strongest storm here, currently warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds, golf ball size hail. You can see some brighter colors there in the core of the storm, just to the south of Marion, kind of right in here where the core of this storm is. Could have some 60-mile-per-hour winds and up to ping pong ball size hail. We did get a warning extension for 60-mile-per-hour winds for the Newcastle area. Does go all the way to Randolph County. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny size hail. So a low end severe thunderstorm warning there. Gusty winds coming through Bluffton. You can see a little bit of a gust front right in there. Going to have to watch that as it goes into Adams County. It looks sub-severe at the moment, but something to keep an eye on. The strongest storm currently moving it through Marion, Indiana, between Gas City and Marion. Ping pong ball size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. This storm is currently radar indicated, moving east at only 30 miles per hour. Strongest core is just on the south side of downtown, right along State Road 18 and south, right in here. If I turn on correlation coefficient to show what the hail core associated with this looks like, you can see a little bit of color right in here associated with the hail core from IWU and north. Between Indiana Wesleyan University and State Road 18 is currently where the hail core is currently at with this storm. Ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. So 3 severe thunderstorm warnings currently in the region. Torrential rainfall is also occurring with these storms. These are very juicy storms. So ping pong ball size hail still in effect here for Grant County. Sorry for the pause there in communication. Talking with some staff members here behind the scenes on warning information as well as storm information as well. Frank said it just had a teeny amount of hail in Bluffton. What size hail did you have there? P, dime. Looking back on updraft here, Bluffton's currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning. The only severe thunderstorm warning for Wells County is in the boot. However, the strongest storm is outside of Wells County in Grant County near Marion, Indiana. There was a little bit of an updraft that went over kind of the north side of Bluffton, North Oaks area, south of 224, heading towards Decatur. So there could be some pea-size hail, kind of how it looks like on radar anyway. The strongest hail core, waiting on this to update, by the way. Our VIL, our updraft, is a little bit outdated at the moment. You can see our nice solid updraft near the Gas City area. Currently, ping pong ball size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. Back to our velocity here. Nice little gust front you can see there. With these storms from 218 to Bluffton and Wells County, look to be below severe criteria, though, in terms of wind. New severe thunderstorm warning. This is for southern Wells County, northern Blatford County, and does include Jay County, Indiana. This is for quarter size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. Go ahead and read the warning text here. This is for areas south of State Road 218. At 6:32 p.m., severe thunderstorm was located near Van Buren, or 8 miles north of Hartford City, moving east at 25 miles per hour. This is for the updraft here associated with this. We'll go ahead and turn back on our updraft here. There you can see Ryan's getting his radar pulled up here for you. I think he's going to hang out with you here for a couple of minutes. We have, go ahead and read the warning text off for you here before he takes over. Hail 60 mile per hour winds. That's for northern Blatford County, southern Wells County, south of State Road 218. Ping pong ball size hail and 60 mile per hour winds for Grant County near Marion, Indiana.
Good evening, Caleb.
Good evening, Ryan.
I got you for a few minutes here, so feel
All right,
free to do what you need to do.
All right, let me hide my camera here. Ryan's going to talk to you here a little bit. Storms moving east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Grant County, southern Wells County, south of 218, as well as Blackford and far western Jay County, Indiana. So I'll put you in Ryan's hands here for the next few minutes, and I will be back momentarily.
All right. So hopefully my audio is good for you guys. Let me know if it's not. But overall, zooming out here, the west side of Indiana, currently in the clear, only really focused in on these storms that are on the eastern, central, and east northern part of the state. We had this severe warning down here by Newcastle in effect for 60 mile per hour winds. The storm is over Newcastle, moving up toward Moreland, Huntsville, Lawsonville, as well as Carlos. Also up here, the main concern that we have been focusing in on the past couple of minutes has been the cell that just impacted the Marion area. But this whole conglomerate over the Bluffton, Decatur, down toward Portland area, back toward Marion, has been a heavy rain producer, loud thunder, should I say, a lot of lightning out there. But a couple of these cores, these purple zones, have been producing some pretty large hail. And the most concerning side or storm that we have been watching is the one here in Marion. That purple core there looks very intense. And as Caleb's been talking about, the correlation coefficient radar has been showing the intensity of that hail, but also the hail tracker itself has been quite fairly maxed out as the storm entered and exited the Marion area. Outside of that one storm, though, you do still see hail cores, these brighter orange, reds, and purples. That's your hail cores of every single cell out there. So embedded in this whole line or conglomerate mess of storms, you still see quite a bit of hail in the cores here. We have a potential one moving down J City, Trinity area, about to cross into Ohio. We have one up here. I just got warned or updated here, heading up into Pleasant Mills toward Wilshire, Ohio. Bluffton may have just got some hail as well. I believe we saw a comment a few minutes ago about that. Montpelier, as well as McNats and Jeff area, moving up toward Pinedo and Keystone, also has some hail as well. Most concerning storm, as we mentioned, though, is the one heading out of Marion. This is moving to the east toward Jayden, Roll, Montpelier, Farville, as well as Keystone, eventually toward Nottingham. It continues on its due eastward track, eventually toward Portland, Geneva, and potentially Bern as well, further to the east. Go ahead and take a peek into the comments here. If you guys are experiencing any of this, let us know. We'll happily take your reports, whether it's damage, wind, hail. We also have Corey out there. Corey, I'm not sure exactly where he's at. I'm assuming he's going to be on the cell near Newcastle. Corey, if you can hear me, feel free to unmute yourself and let us give an update if you'd like to.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we're just on that south one there by Newcastle. I'd say we had some good 55-mile-an-hour winds there for a second. It's shaking the truck pretty good. Just heavy rain right this second. And we're looking directly west. Looks like hail starting right now.
Okay. Thank you, Corey, for that.
Yeah, just some pea-sized hail.
Okay, cool. So Corey is on the cell here. Corey's on the cell here in Newcastle. And as you can see here on the velocity radar, the brighter reds here do indicate that's where your stronger winds are occurring. There was a pocket there on the last scan. It just updated to kind of take it away. But if I were to animate this or zoom in on this, should I say, we're getting these winds on radar. It takes 58-mile-per-hour winds to be severe, and all these brighter reds are right around that 50. Whoa, another update here. Right around that 50 to 60-mile-per-hour range. Like right here, there's a pixel of 60.4 mile-per-hour winds. Up here, 58.2. So we're getting severe level winds here on radar, moving up into Moreland and Bluntsville area. This is going to follow and cross very closely to US 36 up toward the US 35 corridor. I should say south of Mount Pleasant, going to impact Bluntsville and Moreland region here in a matter of a few minutes. That's more of a wind threat. Corey did say there was a hail threat there, pea size in nature. Go ahead, Corey, if you have anything else you want to add to that. Not sure if that's an accident or not. But overall, the concern here with the Newcastle cell is more wind. Further north here, we do have that concern more so about the hail risk here on this conglomerate mess near the Marion area. Hail core is now centered over I-69 as well as State Route 18. It's going to follow a pretty much due eastward track right down State Route 218, right toward Montpelier. So if you're in Montpelier, be on the alert here. There's no current warning for you. I stand corrected. There is. My bad. The warning is for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This storm does have a history of producing ping-pong ball-size hail, though, further west. So don't let your guard down just yet. In Montpelier, we have a pretty hefty cell and core moving your way. And downstream as well toward Bryant, Geneva, and potentially Portland as well. Keep an eye out for this cell as it progresses to the east.
Yeah, and we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Adams County, Indiana. For quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. A severe thunderstorm warning for east central Adams County, northeastern Indiana, as well as Van Wert County, Ohio, till 7 o'clock here this evening, Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Waiting on the update here on radar, but you can see a nice pocket of gusty winds. That little gust front that moved through Bluffton a little earlier today has intensified in central Adams County as it moves south of the Decatur area and into Van Wert County, Ohio. So strong winds up to 60 mile per hour, as well as quarter-size hail. Moving back down here to the south, the strongest of these thunderstorms are south 18 and really south of Highway 18 in Wells County, as well as Grant, Blackford, and Western Jay County. As I go back and turn on our updrafts here to take a look at that, you can see kind of a mess of updrafts here. We have multiple updrafts competing for the same environment. We have our Grant County cell back here, still warned for ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Now, my guess is they're going to let that expire here in 5 minutes. We have a new warning still in effect for the Montpelier area, quarter-size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Both of these storms are producing hail and moving over the same areas as well. So if you're in Montpelier, watch out for multiple rounds of small to severe hail, as well as torrential rainfall. And if you're in northeastern, or I guess east central Adams County near the Wilshire, Ohio area, this is State Road 124, US 33 and 27. Quarter-size hail as well as torrential rainfall is also occurring with these storms. We have a new warning now for Wayne County, Indiana, 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Now, Ryan, we talked about, I guess you talked about this a little bit ago, pockets of embedded winds up to 60 miles per hour there. Indianapolis matching Wilmington here as well. You can see nice embedded pockets right along I-70 where we could have some embedded winds up to 60 miles per hour. Nice pockets there. There's also some hydrologic concerns. We're going to have to watch out for potential ponding as well with these storms, as they're just producing just torrential rainfall across the region as well. So if you're in this area, watch out for flash flooding, ponding, viaducts, back roads, etc. Torrential rainfall is ongoing here with these storms. And speaking of these storms, have a pretty cool view. This is looking south from our Fort Wayne, Indiana weather cam. Thanks to High Tech Electric, you can see the backside of these storms. A little bit of a Mattis here on the backside, and not a bad day on the north side of Fort Wayne. Have a goose taking a nice stroll here this evening on the parking lot there. Just not a care in the world. Just a happy little fella all by himself, enjoying the views of these storms on our High Tech Electric cam. Thank you to all of our weather cameras here across Indiana for sponsoring our weather cameras. Not a bad afternoon across most of Indiana. You can see our Bluffton cam, just torrential rainfall. This is north of State Road 218. You can see some torrential rainfall ongoing here across there in the heart of these storms here, kind of on the edge of the warning box here. Severe thunderstorm warning for ping pong ball size hail, now including Montpelier, Indiana. So the first warning, I guess both warnings are now ping pong ball size hail for Grant County, Western Jay County, as well as Southern Wells County. So if you're south of State Road 218, watch out for ping pong ball size hail, as well as just torrential rainfall ongoing here as well. The warning for central Adams County does continue. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as torrential rainfall ongoing as well. Really nice gust front kind of developing on the backside of here, crossing US 27, coming into central Adams County. So quarter-size hail winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as ping pong ball size hail for areas south of State Road 218 in Wells County, and as well as Blackford County and Western Jay County. Going to have to watch these storms as well. Going back to our vertical integrated liquid, our updrafts here. So our main updraft back here by Gas City, which is now, this is a little bit behind, mind you. We're waiting on the new data feed to come in for this product here. But our main updraft right in here, but we do have some smaller updrafts capable of quarter-size hail associated with these storms as well. So this severe thunderstorm warning, we'll go ahead and read it off here too. We have two of them for Grant County. A severe thunderstorm located near Van Buren or near Upland, moving east at 30 miles per hour, ping pong ball size hail and 16 mile per hour winds. People and animals outside will be injured. Expect hail damage to roof, siding, trees, and vehicles, as well as our other warning box. I guess maybe it's for the same storm. Maybe we just have two warning boxes for the same storm. I'm not sure what is going on there. they pop up as the same text for me. So plan on ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. If you're in Wayne County, Randolph County, as well as the Newcastle area, plan on penny size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. Penny size hail near Newcastle. And then if your area surrounding that, plan on pockets of up to 60 miles per hour. Currently, the strongest hail core moving right along State Road 18 and northern Blatford County, northern Jay County, and south of 218 in Wells County, between Marion and Montpelier. Kind of the hail core coming into Montpelier right in there, as well as south of the Pinedo area as well. Smaller hail core near Keystone coming into the Nottingham area. Just torrential rainfall, small hail associated with these storms here in northeast Indiana. Currently warned for ping pong ball size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. This is south of Bluffton, Indiana, near Montpelier, Indiana, Grant County. You're about to be in the clear if you're in Grant County. This storm is now moving into Blatford County and southern Wells County. You're about to be in the clear there for this storm. This storm is only moving east at a whopping 35 miles per hour. 25 to 35 miles per hour. It's not moving fast at all. Torrential rainfall is ongoing. Some areas could pick up probably an inch of rain in about 30 to 45 minutes within the cores of these storms here, right in here especially. So do watch out if you're on the Highway 18, 218. Watch out for ponding and other hydrologic concerns on the roadways as well. Likely some ditch swelling going on right now within these storms as torrential rainfall is ongoing, as well as hail up to ping pong ball size in diameter. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Wouldn't be surprised to see it get trimmed back, though, as these storms pass. After these storms are out of Indiana, our eyes then turn to convection up here in Wisconsin and Iowa, as these storms are expected to congeal into a line or a complex of storms moving into Michigan later on tonight. And that is expected to perhaps move into northern Indiana after midnight tonight. So this is round one of two potential rounds here this evening for Indiana. So after this round is over, our attention then turns to the north as we await those storms to potentially impact northern Indiana later on overnight tonight. Still warned for ping pong ball size hail, as well as 60 mile per hour winds associated with the storm here. Torrential rainfall is ongoing with these storms. A nice hail core is starting to develop west of Portland, Indiana. Right along State Road 18. So if you live along State Road 18 in northeast Indiana, Blatford County, northern Jay County, watch out for hail up to ping pong ball size hail between quarter and ping pong, winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as torrential rainfall. Rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour are falling in the core of these storms. So very heavy rainfall, as well as gusty winds falling within these storms as well. And before we get too far ahead in our severe weather coverage, I do want to thank our sponsor for our severe weather coverage. Thank you to Ruchter's Outdoor Services, based in Indianapolis, proudly serving the Indianapolis area. If you have any trees that could be damaged from severe weather in the future, give them a call. 317-665-3969. They'll be happy to take care of that for you. Trees can be problematic during severe weather, as they can cause damage to the house, vehicles, etc. So if you have a tree that is worrisome, give them a call. They'll be happy to take care of that for you at 317-665-3969, based in the Indianapolis area. A lot of lightning associated with these storms here. I don't know if you heard that on your screen at all. I felt that one here at the office. Currently, these storms are impacting my neck of the woods here. Some very loud lightning associated with these storms. And torrential rainfall is also ongoing as well. If you're along State Road 18, so if you're in the Portland area, US 27 south of Geneva, Probably getting some perhaps hail size up to quarters along the 18 and 27 corridor, just to the northwest of Portland. That's one updraft. Back here to the west near Montpelier, quarter size to ping pong ball size hail on the tail end of the storm. Here comes the latest scan there. Currently, severe thunderstorm warnings continue for ping pong ball size hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and turn back on our correlation coefficient here just to look at our hail course. Be a little bit of a hail spike ongoing just to the southwest of Montpelier there, and perhaps right in there as well. So a couple areas of interest there where we could have some stronger hail cores developing, one of which is outside the warning box, or just slowly moving outside the warning box there. Could have some hailstones developing there in northern Jay County along 18 coming up on 27. That'd be near the Bryant, Indiana area, I believe. Yep. If you guys have any hail reports, feel free to send them in to us. We're actively looking for hail reports. If you do submit a hail report, please submit time, event, location, the time it occurred, where it occurred, and what occurred. How big was the hail? And try to have it next to a tape measure or an object for reference, such as a coin, a quarter, 50-cent piece, whatever you may have lying around. That's a fixed size and a known diameter. That'll help us judge how large these stones are. And if you have any hail damage, feel free to let us know as well. We can relay that on to the National Weather Service as well. We have a couple hail report threads posted on our platforms right now at IWN, IWO. If you have any hail reports, feel free to submit those and let us know what you're seeing out there, if you can do so safely, of course. New severe thunderstorm warning now for Jay County. We have a tornado possible tag on this warning here. You can see an area of rotation kind of distorted a little bit, but maybe some broad rotation northwest of Portland, Indiana. This is a tornado possible, quarter size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. And also, mind you, if you're in Adams County, a strong pocket of wind here east of Bern, Indiana. Likely 60 plus miles per hour moving into Mercer County, Ohio. Could have a nice pocket. This is showing about 63, 64 miles per hour just above the surface there. So a very strong downburst ongoing in eastern Adams County. No warning on it yet as it moves into Mercer County, but it is moving out of Adams County, which is good. We currently have a tornado possible tag on our Jay County storm, as well as quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And we have a tornado possible tag now on all of these warnings here are now tornado possible. So maybe some broad rotation, perhaps right in here. Really hard to really pinpoint exactly where the rotation would be within these storms. But there's perhaps, there we go, there's a little bit. So some embedded rotation. You can see a little bit of a hook right in there, perhaps. So some broad rotation outside of Bryant, Indiana, associated with this storm here. So a little bit of broad rotation outside of Portland, as well as strong winds up to 60 miles per hour. So tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as ping pong ball size hail back towards Montpelier, quarter size hail near the Portland, Indiana area. So some broad embedded rotation here associated with that. Strong winds moving out of Adams County into Mercer County, Ohio, as well. These storms are only moving east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. If you're in Wayne County, Randolph County, winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as some penny-size hail coming into Hagerstown along 170. Richmond, Indiana, currently not downtown, not included in the warning. We'll have to see if we get a warning issued for you guys here in a little bit. I'm going to try something here. behind the scenes here. Give me 1 second here. Have a couple different radar products here, but the issue is we're kind of in a radar gap. So what we're seeing in these areas is not represented the best, just because the radar beam is so high here in this portion of Indiana, as well as Northwest Ohio. There we go. Let me just rearranging a couple things on my screen here behind the scenes. And also a magnificent rainbow on the backside of these storms in Wells County. I don't have a camera facing that direction, but I can tell you it is very beautiful at the moment. So there is a magnificent rainbow behind these storms. Going back to our warnings here, tornado possible, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds for Jay County. Some embedded areas of rotation perhaps on this storm here. And not sure where that audio came from. And then Grant County, Indiana. Wells County is included south of 218, but the cores of these storms are south of Wells County for the hail core, right along State Road 18. This would be Blatchford County and Jay County for these storms here. And torrential rainfall is ongoing as well. Correlation coefficient, a little bit. This is might be clutter here, I think. It's a little bit outside the warning box there. So not really showing any spatter spikes at the moment that I can differentiate. Going back to velocity here, you can see some brighter pockets of gusty winds here associated with that. There could be some embedded areas of rotation as well within these storms in the Blatchford County and Jay County areas. Torrential rainfall from areas Bern and south, think State Road 218 and south here in Northeast Indiana. For Jay County, Indiana, severe thunderstorm was located near Portland, moving east at 40 miles per hour, hazard 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once at a basement or a sturdy structure. But the good news is I don't see a lot of rotation on this storm. There is some maybe embedded pockets of some rotation, but it's hard to tell on these storms as they are elevated. The radar beam is quite high in this area, so it doesn't really get the best idea. Personally, I don't see any rotation that really screams a tornado is imminent. It looks kind of side-lobed in my opinion. And it doesn't really line up with a typical couplet. But do keep an eye on it in case it does intensify. But to me, it's more side-lobed, perhaps. But still, tornado possible tag on these warnings remain in effect, as well as hail up the ping pong ball in diameter. That's $150, as well as quarter-size hail for Jay County. So we turn on our updrafts here. You can see a hail core just on the north side of Portland from Geneva, Indiana to Portland. So southern Adams County, not necessarily a thunderstorm warning, but the largest hailstones do look to be south of Geneva, south of Adams County, into Jay County. But Geneva, Indiana, south of Bern, south of 218, likely getting in on some larger hailstones, perhaps, I guess, not severe, but between pea size and nickel size based on radar here. But these two warnings are the strongest warnings here in Indiana. These storms will be exiting Indiana here fairly soon as well. Once these are out of Indiana, the severe weather risk will likely be on hold for a while. We'll have a nice break of several hours, and then our attention will turn to storms in Wisconsin. As they move into Michigan, they're likely going to congeal. They're isolated storms now,
in Wisconsin. You can see all the warnings up here, severe thunderstorm, tornado warnings. These storms are likely going to form into a line, and that's going to move across Lake Michigan into Michigan. And perhaps after midnight tonight, we can see a line of storms kind of move into northern Indiana. Those will be the ones to watch overnight here tonight, primarily northern Indiana. So this is round one, and then round two may come later overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. If it makes it this far, there's kind of a question mark on how organized that line will be and how far south it'll go. So we'll keep an eye on that here overnight tonight, and we'll post updates as needed as well. We'll be up all night with you. Currently, these two warnings here are in northeast Indiana. This is Jay County near Portland, as well as Blackford County near Montpelier. Ping pong ball size hail, as well as a tornado possible. Now, it says tornado possible on the warning. Based on velocity, I really don't see a lot in the way of rotation. To me, there are some brighter reflectivity colors here, but personally, I think it's distortion from the radar. And it might be side lobed a little bit as well. Not saying there isn't some low-level rotation embedded within it. Perhaps just on the north side of Portland, right in there. But it is kind of hard to tell a little bit. The radar beam is higher here as well. Can't rule out a possible spin-up tornado. There is some wind shear out there today. So do take this seriously. If you're in Portland or Jay County, Indiana, remain on alert for a possible tornado. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't see anything that screams a tornado is imminent at the moment. But there is some pockets of some embedded circulation there within the storm. New storm is currently moving east at about 35 miles per hour. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County, Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail. The strongest winds, though, appear to be moving near Lynn, Indiana. This storm appears to have weakened below severe criteria, at least based on radar. There could be a few gusts up to 60 miles per hour, but I think we're closer to the 45 to 50-mile-per-hour range with the strongest winds in southern Randolph County, northern Wayne County. So we'll focus here on northeast Indiana. Right up in here. 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, quarter-size hail. Going back on our updraft here, the leading storm here in Jay County is really kind of taking over. It's kind of leading the pack here. It's found some instability to work with. Its updraft is enlarging. It's becoming a little bit more organized compared to our storm back here in Montpelier. It's now starting to fall behind a little bit. Maybe running into some rain-cooled air, some stable air associated with it. So this new storm, or this new cell out ahead of it, is kind of taking over a little bit. Has a little bit better updraft, a larger updraft associated with it. So where hail core would be a little bit larger would be in Jay County, Indiana. I do think the Montpelier cell is weakening just a little bit. I don't think there's ping pong ball size hail in it currently. I could be wrong. There could be a few larger hailstones associated with it, but we're starting to see a little bit more of a spatter spike in Jay County versus Blackford County. So good news for the Montpelier area, bad news for Jay County as that storm is intensifying. We do have a new warning now for the southern Adams County area, which does include Bern, Indiana. I think that warning box is a little bit far north. The worst of the risk does appear to be 218 and south, where that hail core currently resides, near the Geneva area, south of Bern, Indiana. If you're north of 218, you're in the warning, but the worst of the risk does appear to be south of 218 for that cell there. Going ahead and turn back on our velocity. Our strongest winds, the gust front appears to be kind of on the edge of Adams County and into Jay County, but we do have that severe thunderstorm warning for Adams County now. Wells County is still under a severe thunderstorm warning for tornado possible, ping pong ball size hail. However, if you're in Wells County, unless you're in like the far boot of or box of Wells County here, you guys are okay right now. In fact, the sunshine is out. If you're north of this area here, like Bluffton, it's sunny right now. Still hear the thunder though, probably but currently sunny in Bluffton. But the worst of the storm is not in Wells County. It is in Blackford County, Jay County, and southern Adams County, Indiana. These storms are moving east at 30 to 40 miles per hour. New severe thunderstorm warning for Mercer County, Ohio as well. Quarter-size hail winds up to 60 miles per hour. Currently, the strongest storm updraft-wise does appear to be in Jay County, Indiana. Could have hail up to quarter size in diameter, perhaps even a few larger stones mixing their way down between Bryant and Portland on US 27. If anybody's watching from Jay County, let me know if you're seeing any hail. Love to see what you're getting there. You can see a nice hail core situating just to the east of Bloomfield. This is Jay County, Indiana, right where you see the purple here. This area here had golf ball size hail a couple of weeks ago. They just can't get a break. Down here in Jay County, we had ping pong ball and golf ball size hail falling about a week and a half ago to 2 weeks ago in this area. Some more hail on the way for this area. Quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a tornado possible tag. Now, looking at our velocity, I don't see anything that really screams a tornado. There is a little bit of some different colors here, kind of hard to depict, but that could be a radar thing where we're just looking above the storm a little bit in terms of our surface winds. There's a little bit of a shear line, but I don't see anything that really screams a tornado is imminent by any means. If there would be an area of perhaps broad rotation, it would kind of be right up in here, kind of near the Bloomfield area and east of 27, northeast of Portland. A little bit of maybe some broad rotation right in there where it kind of pulls in on itself just a little bit. But that could be associated with the downdraft as well. It's really hard to tell anything definitive there. Nothing that screams a tornado is imminent, which is good. Hopefully we don't see that. But the severe thunderstorm warning for Blatford County does include tornado possible, ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. I assume they're going to trim this back or just allow it to expire with the current warnings taking over as the Montpelier cell is now moving into Jay County and extreme portions of southern Wells County. And we have Corey on stream here with a gorgeous view of what looks like a shelf cloud. Corey, if you can hear us, let us know where you're at and what storm you're looking at.
Yeah, you can hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I'm actually coming into farmland right now. I'm heading north on State Road 1. I'm going to try to make it up to Red Key so I can try to get behind that storm that's up there in Montpelier. That way you can kind of see the structure of it. I mean, you're kind of seeing the structure of it right now, to be honest.
So you're looking north towards Portland. So that's the south side of the Portland cell?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I got you. I know where you're at.
Yeah.
So a very beautiful structure there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Corey.
Yep.
So he's currently heading north. That's the south side of the cell near Portland. That's currently the structure that you're looking at there. You can see some striations there in the cloud, maybe even a shelf cloud there. Kind of a spaceship look to it. Kind of a cool, unique view there from Corey. So thank you, Corey, from that. He's going to keep us updated. He's working his way north to get a better view of these cells in Jay County, Indiana. So what he was looking at, he's down here, and he's looking north at the cell in Jay County. So a good view from Corey there from a distance there, but looking at these storms. Currently, tornado possible, quarter-size hail, as well as winds up to 60 miles per hour. Blackford County, Indiana, you guys are in the clear. This storm has moved pretty much out of Blackford County, unless you were like just east of Montpelier. Still a little bit of rain there, but it will be moving out of your area here pretty soon. Might be starting to gust out here a little bit as well. You can kind of see a nice bowed out feature here. You can see that on reflectivity as well. Might get some gusty winds if you're on this storm as well, on the leading edge of it, kind of developing a little bit of a gust front here as it moves towards Mercer County, Ohio. Probably about 15, 20 minutes left in our coverage. Perhaps once these storms exit Indiana into Ohio, we'll end our coverage for now. But then our eyes focus on what's going to happen overnight tonight after midnight. Storms in Wisconsin, how are they going to organize? We expect they're going to organize and grow upscale into a line of storms or a complex. Terms in MCS, mesoscale convective complex. That's a big fancy term for a big cluster of storms as they move in across Lake Michigan, southern Michigan, and perhaps into northern Indiana after midnight tonight. So we have a few hours of a break here where we're likely not going to see any severe weather. We're not going to see probably very many thunderstorms. A stray thunderstorm can't be ruled out, but we're likely going to have a break here for a little bit coming up here after these storms are done. We are seeing that severe thunderstorm watch getting trimmed back. I'll go ahead and toggle it on here to show you. So a little bit of the watch still remains. But if you're not in the pink box, you're not in a severe thunderstorm watch, but we'll likely see it trimmed once again once these storms exit Ohio. So we are starting to wind down our early severe weather threat here in Indiana. But we have another risk overnight tonight as a line of storms potentially impacts northern Indiana after midnight here tonight. New warning getting issued here. Quarter-size hail tornado possible, so they are reissuing the warning or extending the warning here a little bit for 48 more minutes here. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a possible tornado. I want to bring Corey back up here. He's got a really nice view of this storm. You can see the kind of the tail end of this storm. A little bit of a tail cloud there, inflow getting pulled into this storm, and you can see a little bit of a shelf cloud there on the right above the trees of the houses there. He's working his way north to get a better view of the storm. Really beautiful structure of the storm. Really nice structure there. You can see the base of the storm there on the right side of your screen as he is working his way north. Really, really nice view. There's a good view from Corey there of that structure. You can see a tail cloud there on the left side of your screen. Kind of some inflow or moisture being pulled into this storm. So thank you, Corey, for that view. He's going to stay on this storm here for as long as it takes. I also want to draw your attention to our Fort Wayne, Indiana cam from High Tech Electric. This is looking south at this storm. Look at how high the cloud tops are in this storm. It's a very tall thunderstorm complex across the area here. This is on the north side of Fort Wayne looking south. The sun is out here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. You can see a little bit of a mattis here on the anvil, as well as some towering cumulus clouds on the bottom left of your screen as they bubble up ahead of the storm. So really nice view there, thanks to our weather camera network from High Tech Electric. But as you look around the state, the sun is shining and not a lot of clouds in the sky elsewhere. So a pleasant evening is expected behind these thunderstorms before our attention turns to overnight tonight. So the worst of these storms are now getting ready to move into Mercer County, Ohio. We do have some rain remaining for Jay County, Indiana. If you're in Wells County or Blackford County, Indiana, you're in the clear. Storms have moved out of the area. Going back to our hail tracker here, there's the hail core right in here. So the worst of the hail core is on the Mercer County, Jay County line east of Portland. That's where the most intense portion of this thunderstorm currently is. Going back on our velocity, our winds associated with this, you can see kind of more of a gust front here as it's bowing out a little bit of a rear inflow jet perhaps coming into the backside of the storm. So that could have some gusty straight line winds as it moves into Ohio. As I turn on our hail tracker here associated with this, yeah, the worst of the hail core right in here. Eastern Jay County, Indiana, our storm that had previously been warned for ping pong ball size hail looks to be below severe criteria. On the backside of the storm, that warning was just dropped. New warning, quarter size hail, as well as a tornado possible still remains on this warning, though I really don't see a lot of rotation on this storm personally. Going back on reflectivity, perhaps maybe a little bit right in there, but it does look kind of side lobish a little bit, but there could perhaps be a little bit of rotation there. But more of a gusty wind threat, I think, as it moves into Mercer County, Ohio. We're only a few minutes away from this storm moving into Ohio. Once the storm moves into Ohio, we'll probably end our coverage, and then we'll focus on what tonight looks like across Indiana as well. So currently waiting on our storm to exit here in Indiana. Jay County still has the strongest storm here in Indiana. Winds to 60 miles per hour, tornado possible, perhaps maybe a little bit of broad rotation east of Portland. Right there on State Road 26, coming near the Fort Recovery area, maybe a little bit of rotation right in there. Kind of hard to tell a little bit, but are going to have to watch that here. This storm is moving pretty quickly now into Ohio, only a few minutes away from being pretty much all clear in Indiana for the time being. Now we will have another round potentially coming after midnight tonight as storms in Wisconsin, northern Illinois congeal or grow upscale into a complex of storms that'll move across Lake Michigan into southern Michigan and potentially impacting northern Indiana early tomorrow morning, perhaps after midnight, 3 a.m., somewhere in that time frame. We'll have to watch for round 2. The gust front now moving into Fort Recovery, moving into Mercer County, Ohio. So just a few minutes away from being all clear in Indiana for the time being. For now, not all clear for the rest of this event, but all clear over the next couple of hours until after midnight here tonight. The 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. The strongest hail core right now is near Noble. So if you're in Jay County, Indiana, from Westchester over to Noble, Val Fountain, between Fort Recovery and Mercer County, Ohio, to the Noble, Indiana area, south of 67, getting in on some pretty perhaps quarter-size hail right in here. That seems to have the best area of hail core, and perhaps maybe a little bit of rotation near the Fort Recovery area as well. Can't rule out there. You can see the greens and reds holding hands just a little bit more near Fort Recovery in Mercer County, Ohio, right in there on the southern side of this. So the rotation of interest seems to have moved into Mercer County, Ohio, which is good. It's not super strong, but it is something to keep an eye on. The worst of the hail core, though, between Noble and Fort Recovery, up to quarter size possible, are now up to $1.25. So $half size hail now being issued there for Wilmington, Ohio. 60-mile-per-hour winds, $half size hail. It is kind of taking more of an apex there, a little boat out front. So damaging winds, perhaps a hazard here with this as well. So $1.25, $half size hail from Noble to Fort Recovery, Ohio, as this storm is moving out of Indiana and into Ohio. So only a few minutes left here before we give the all clear here for Indiana for the time being, before we draw our attention to the risk overnight here tonight. And we'll come back on if need be to cover that for you live in detail. Amy, that's a great question. She asked how far south of the storm's going to go tonight. That's a great question. A little bit of uncertainty there, and that'll be determined by how organized that complex will be able to get in Michigan and how far south they'll be able to go in Michigan as well. Going to bring back Corey here. Once again, he's live here in Jay County looking at the storm as it exits Indiana and into Ohio. Really nice base there. You can see a tail cloud on it, the bottom right side of your screen, as it moves into Mercer County, Ohio. So just a couple of minutes left here on our stream before we give the all clear. Currently hail up to 1.25 inches in diameter. Really nice tail cloud there. That's inflow moisture feeding into the storm on the backside of it there. And you can see a really nice cloud base and some sunshine there on the backside as well. So probably going to see a rainbow on the backside of this storm as well. There's been a lot of rainbows reported here across Indiana. I think that was a moth that crawled across his windshield there. But thanks, Corey, for those views here of that storm there. He's currently looking at the south side of this storm as it exits Indiana and into Mercer County, Ohio. The storm is currently moving east-southeast at about 40 miles per hour. New severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, for Darke County in west central Ohio, for also hail up to $1.25. And that would be for this storm here, as it's kind of turning south just a little bit. But we're only a few miles away from the storm being out of Indiana and being all clear over the next couple of hours or so. So just a few more minutes here, and then we'll give the all clear here for Indiana as we await our storms coming here later tonight, just a few minutes away. Currently, the only severe thunderstorm warning or warned storm. So the storm for northern Wayne County is moving off into south central Darke County, Indiana, with really our only severe thunderstorm warning for Jay County, Indiana. Wayne County still remains in effect for northeastern Wayne County, but Wayne County, you're currently in the clear. I think that storm has moved far enough into Ohio where you guys are good. In Jay County, Indiana, the storm is now exiting your vicinity and now moving into Mercer County, Ohio. Go ahead and look at our hail tracker here. You can see that hail core is now moving into Mercer County, Ohio. A little bit of that back cell there that produced ping pong ball size hail potentially from Montpelier and Blackford County. It's weakening pretty quickly now. It's falling behind. It's in a stable environment now of rain-cooled air and maybe some pea-sized hail south of Geneva, but not a lot to write home about there other than some heavy rainfall falling there. Going back on our velocity here, strongest winds and storm are now into Mercer County, Ohio. So the worst portion of the storm is now in Mercer County, Ohio. Likely see this warning for Jay County trim back here over the next 5 minutes or so. But if you guys have any hail reports here from today, we have some hail report threads published on our Facebook pages. Indiana Weather Network, Indiana Weather Online. Feel free to post photos or any hail damage that you may have had today. We can relay that to the National Weather Service if need be as well. If you do report, please give your time, event, location, the time you think it occurred to the best of your ability. Unless you know the exact time, that's fantastic. What occurred, how big were the stones, and were there any damage? Same goes for wind damage. When it occurred, how strong do you think the winds were, as well as any damage that occurred from that as well. Time, event, location. That way we can relay that to NWS if need be. But also love to see your reports as well. And also love to know that you guys were safe today from severe weather as well. Before we exit our stream here, again, a big shout out to our weather cameras here today. This is High Tech Electric in Fort Wayne, Indiana, looking south at our storms here. Beautiful shot of our cumulonimbus clouds. Look at our mammatus on the backside of the anvil here. Those are kind of bubbly looking clouds on the anvil of the thunderstorm. Some rain-cooled air at the top of that can cause a little bit of mammatus to develop there. Beautiful shot there, and really a pleasant evening in Fort Wayne with looking south at our storm exiting Indiana, now moving into Mercer County, Ohio. So the worst of the storm is now in Mercer County, Ohio. It has left Jay County. There's a little bit of a cell south of Geneva, State Road 18, maybe some pea-sized hail, heavy rain. Take Corey back up here for one last look at our storm here. Really beautiful base there. Really picturesque storm as it moves into Mercer County, Ohio towards Salina. So thank you, Corey, and all of our storm hunters who are out there here today. And thanks to all of you guys for sending in your reports here today and for following along with us here today. We'll be live here potentially later tonight if need be. We'll be watching storms re-entering Indiana, perhaps northern Indiana, after midnight tonight through about 3 to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a long night, but we're going to have to see how strong these storms develop right up in here. These are the storms to watch currently now that these storms are exiting Indiana. Our attention draws up here to Wisconsin, Iowa, northern Illinois. These storms are going to move into southern Michigan overnight tonight, later this evening. And we could have a complex, kind of a line of storms develop as they move into southwest lower Michigan. So this zone in northern Indiana, we'll have to watch later on this evening, perhaps after midnight tonight, as these storms perhaps impact the region. Too early to know exact details on that and timing. but we're likely going to have a break here in severe weather between now and then, as the risk will now shift overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So with that being said, probably going to end our stream here as the storms have now exited Indiana and are now in Ohio. Likely going to see the warning in Portland, Indiana, Jay County expire as these storms are now exiting Indiana and moving into Ohio. Have any hail reports or damage reports? Feel free to let us know on our Facebook pages. We have some report threads posted on there as well. Time, event, location, the time it occurred, what occurred, and where it occurred. All great information to have. With that being said, take care. Have a wonderful evening. Stay weather aware tonight as the risk is over for now, but it's not done entirely. Round 2 potentially moves in after midnight tonight. Take care.